Part 2. Presently Winston, Martin and old Wobbly came to the beautiful kingdom of the bumblebee. Spreading beneath the trees was a field of flowers. The flowers were of every colour, red, purple, yellow and gold, and the field was surrounded by a wall of rainbows. In the middle of the field there was a great scarlet flower as big as a house, and in the middle of the flower sat Bumble, the bee who knew everything. Bumble listened very carefully to Winston, Martin and Wobbly when they told him about the wooden box which Wobbly had found in his rice field. He put his head on one side and sat still for a long, long time. Then after he had thought and thought and thought, he said in a voice which sounded like a whistle and a buzz, "Return to your little house and open the wooden box, for in it you will find the happiness of the world." Now, Slinky, the wicked snake of the jungle, who did not like people to be happy, had been listening. And when Bumble said these words, Slinky called out, "Do not listen to old Bumble. He knows nothing. Give me the wooden box, and I will build your house of diamonds and pearls finer than a king's palace." But Winston, Martin and Wobbly paid no attention because they loved their little house so much better than any king's palace, and Bumble only smiled. So Slinky knew that his deceitful plan had failed, and he slipped away into the long grass, hissing angrily. Then Winston, Martin and Wobbly thanked Bumble for telling them what to do, and hurried back home to the little house deep in the middle of the jungle. There was the wooden box standing on the table exactly where they had left it. As Martin was the strongest, he climbed on the box and undid the 3 brass pins. Winston and Wobbly held their breath while Martin flung open the lid. The box was lined on the inside with rich blue velvet, and in it were 3 books. There was a tiny book with Winston written on it, a medium-sized one with Wobbly written on it, and a very large one with Martin written on it. "Look, look!" cried Martin. "The big book has my name on it." "And the next biggest has my name on it," cried Wobbly. "And my name is on the littlest," said Winston, "because I'm the smallest." Each of the friends lifted out his book with the greatest care, and on the bottom of the box was printed in letters of gold, "In these 3 books there lies the secret of happiness. Read them, then go out into the world and teach your fellow creatures how to be happy." So Winston sat down and began to read his book, and Martin and Wobbly began to read theirs too. When they had all finished reading their books, old Wobbly said to Winston, "What secret did you learn from your book?" And Winston replied, "My book says that the world will be happy if people learn to be clever and if they learn to be like Martin and old Wobbly." And old Wobbly said, "My book says that the world will be happy if people work hard and if they learn to be like Martin and Winston." And Martin said, "My book says that the world will be happy if people are generous and kind and if they learn to be like Winston and old Wobbly." At first they did not understand what the books really meant. Then Winston, who was very clever, said, "I'll tell you what they mean. They mean that we 3 must go out into the world and teach our neighbours how to be clever, industrious and kind, so that they can all be as happy as we are." So ever since that day, Winston the Chick-Chack, Martin the Monkey and old Wobbly the Frog leave home every morning and go out to teach the world the lessons of happiness. But when the shadows fall, they come back to the little house deep in the middle of the jungle. On warm evenings you can often see Winston on the wall explaining his wind trap to his friends. If you're lucky, you may catch a glimpse of Martin swinging through the trees with his book under his arm, and, after you've gone to bed, you may sometimes hear Wobbly's funny voice, which sounds to other children like "Error, error, error." But if you hear that sound, you will know that he is telling some of the other frogs how one day, many years ago, when he was digging rice for his 2 friends, Winston and Martin, he found the wooden box with the magic books of happiness. And you can be quite sure that when he is talking about those days, the kind old fellow will be smiling. The end. I hope you enjoyed that.